Hello, I'm Paul Webb, owner and proprietor of 3 restaurants in Hastings and Rye in East Sussex and tutor at Webb's Cookery School in Rye, and today I'm going to show you a really useful recipe. Right, today we're going to make some slow cooked beef cheeks, and to do this I've got these lovely lobes of meat here, the cheek. We're just going to trim some of the sinew off here. And in my mind, this is the best meat to slow cook because it's got this lovely marble of fat that runs through it. They're going to get cooked for about 6 hours in a low oven. To go in there, we've got a couple of sprigs of fresh thyme. We're going to put a little bit of garlic in there. I've got 2 carrots peeled and roughly cut, 2 sticks of celery and 1 onion roughly cut. Right, to start off with, what we're going to do is just trim some of this excess sinew away here. So we just slide our knife underneath, and just like we're filleting the skin off fish, we're just going to shave that off. Just purely because these little bits of meat, the sinew bits, won't cook out and they'll remain tough. Now that's a good 2 portions there, so what we're going to do is just cut that in half, like that. So when they cook down, I'd rather have one bigger piece of meat than little smaller pieces. I've just put them into the pan to seal off and to get a nice roasted colour on the meat. And we've seasoned them with salt and pepper. Right, now what we're going to do is add our vegetables. So we're just going to brown those off slightly as well. They'll help colour our stock up. So we can go the carrots, the celery, and some onion. And I'm just going to drop in a couple of cloves of peeled garlic as well. And we're just going to brown those vegetables off slightly. Right, I'm going to put 2 sprigs of thyme, fresh thyme in there. And then we're going to add a glass of red wine and enough brown beef stock just to cover that. You could use a commercial beef stock, but when you're using commercial ones, just watch out for the salt content in them. And because this sauce at the end, we're going to reduce it down. And remember, you're going to be reducing that salt as well. So it probably won't need much more seasoning. Right, this has been cooking for about 5 minutes now, just to get a little caramelisation on our vegetables here. Now we're going to add our glass of red wine. And we're going to add an amount of beef stock just to cover the meat. Must be completely covered, or it'll go dry on the top, and it's going to take all of that. And what we're going to do now is just wrap that very tight with foil so we've got no loss of moisture. And we're going to cook that in the oven for about 6 hours at about 160 degrees Celsius. Right, here's our beef cheeks. These have had their 6 hours in the oven now. And as you can see, all the liquor has evaporated and our meat should be lovely and tender and soft. So you can just sort of poke your finger through there. And because we've really slow cooked it, it hasn't shrunk in size that much. You don't want a loss of moisture, so the meat's all sort of nice and tight. Now what I'm going to do is just take these beef cheeks out of the liquor, and all that lovely stock with the vegetables, we're going to pass that off. The thyme and all the herbs and garlic, they've done their job, they've infused that liquor, and I'm just going to take an amount of that stock out into a very hot pan, and we're going to just reduce that down so we've got a nice glutinous syrup. Right, we've got a lovely syrup now from our reduced liquor there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a touch of, I've got some arrowroot here diluted with a tiny little bit of water, and it just thickens it up very slightly. If you use it much the same way as corn flour, but unlike corn flour, this is translucent. And it's just thickened our stock slightly so we don't have to take it down anymore. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take one of these beef cheeks, pop it back in our sauce there just to glaze it nicely. Drizzle some of this lovely liquor over there. And then we've got our roasted garlic and parsley mash. There. And that is how to cook beef cheeks.